Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Music Podcast. I'm your host, Blaze. Welcome on in, my friends. Happy motherfucking Monday. Today is December 18th, 2023. Hope you're well, hope you're chilling. Um, wow. What a week, man. What a week. Much to talk about. This is technically the last show of 2023 because the next show that we'll be doing is actually Music Mondays Awards. So that's going to be very interesting, man. We're going to talk about that a little bit later in the show, but per usual, as you know, I'm your host, Tom Slade. Like I said, happy motherfucking Monday. Much to discuss. Some weekly recap stuff. We're going to talk about the Music Mondays Awards, like I said, and we're gonna get into some reactions and reviews per usual. But let's get into some weekly recap stuff because we have a couple of things to talk about here on the show. Some pretty major events happened here at Music Mondays over the last week or so, so we are gonna talk about it. Let's get into it. So we kicked off last week with a major announcement. We actually brought on a brand new Monday staff writer to the team. Welcome, I don't know, young Jay. Um, Jay was actually recommended to me by Blank Thought, which many of you know from the podcast, Blank Thought's articles, Blank Thought exclusive tracks on Music Mondays, so many things. So huge shout out to Young Jay. Make sure you go show Jay some love if you see him around. Expected their first piece to be dropping in January during the new year, so that'll be a really cool way to like kick off next year and really like um start off with some like fresh content. You know what I mean? So I'm definitely excited for that. But again, huge shout out to Jay and welcome to the team, my friend. Um, Community feedback number 7 is available right now on the Music Mondays YouTube channel. For those of you that don't know, community feedback is a monthly segment that we do here live on the podcast where we pretty much talk about things that the community might want to see, right? If you're interested in certain Music Mondays podcast guests, if you're interested in certain Music Mondays tips or tricks, if you're interested in so many other things, man. Like those of you that do know, we have a lot of exclusive segments and a lot of underground tips and tricks and tutorials and a lot of interesting things on our channel. But we always want to get community feedback when it comes down to pretty much anything, of course, but more specifically what you like to see here on the show. Like I said, things like guests, certain tutorials you'd like to see, certain topics you'd like to see us discuss, certain people that you'd like to see on the show, things like that, man. So, community feedback number 7 is available right now on the Music Mondays YouTube channel. If you missed that from last week, so definitely go check that out. And huge shout out to the music community. You guys are amazing for always running our drops, man. And actually, we finally hit 230 subscribers on the channel, man. So let's fucking go. Man, actually, that didn't take as long as it usually takes. Like, it felt like our 220 to 230 was much faster than our 200 to like 220. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, like 200 to 220 was a big it it was kind of a long while. I'm not gonna lie to you, but now that we hit like 230, I think we're at like 232 to 231 or something like that. But yeah, man, we finally hit the 230 mark, so let's fucking go. Road to 240 and 250 very very soon. But like I said, huge shout out to the Music Mondays YouTube community. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys for always drops. Let's fucking go, man. So yeah, community feedback number 7 live right now. Definitely go check that out. Um, a brand new exclusive track is actually live right now on our SoundCloud. The homie Jaded is back for another week. Last week Jaded dropped a SoundCloud exclusive track on the Music Money SoundCloud, but this week they came back for another track, which actually had like 3 features on it, plus the same prod as the last track. Absolute fucking banger. That's exclusively on our SoundCloud right now, so definitely go check that out. And huge shout out to Jaded and the rest of the crew for letting us host that on the Music SoundCloud. So that was on Friday actually, and we kicked off Friday night with a brand new article by the homie Arctic. Arctic actually said in a 24 press conference. AT24 is the same platform that we said in the Midwest conference for. So we sent Arctic over to a another conference for a pop group is Arctic transcribed a wonderful, wonderful piece for us that's available right now on the Music Mondays homepage. Definitely go check that out. And huge shout out to Arctic for getting that one out there, my friends. So that takes care of Friday. I believe we rolled into Saturday with another article by the homie M Bischoff. Huge shout out to M. They reviewed Mike Hype from the homie A Hype. It was actually the history of the pretty much self-titled project Mike Hype. Collab project with Mike Turtle and A Hype. So huge shout out to M for getting that out. That was a really like 1 year kind of look back on it kind of thing. So I was definitely excited to really get that one out, and definitely go check that one out if you have time. So 2 brand new pieces are available right now on the music homepage. Huge shout out to M and huge shout out to Arctic. And then we banged out Saturday with episode 151 of the Music Mondays podcast. That is also available on all platforms. So if you podcast on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, all that sort of stuff. Definitely go check out all of our shows. And huge shout out to everybody that already is, man. But like I said, episode 151 is available right now on our YouTube channel. And huge shout out to everybody. Actually, I kind of got sidetracked because I heard that Google Podcast is actually shutting down. So we might need to get the show on like another platform outside of Google Podcasts. Let me see. Oh yeah, okay. In favor of YouTube Music sometime in 2024. Oh, so YouTube's gonna start integrating podcasts into their whole. Okay. So that's gonna be kind of weird. I wonder if we'll be able to have like audio versions on YouTube. That's wow. That's kind of crazy, but yeah. Regardless, the video versions will always be on YouTube, and the audio versions will always be on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, always. But with that said, and like I said, episode 151 is available on all audio visual platforms as well as the YouTube channel. So huge shout out to everybody that takes us on the go. And so we capped off Sunday with actually SoundCloud Sunday Volume 113. Like we're starting to get so high up in the numbers that like it's easy to be like, okay, yeah, we're on like volume 57, but if it's like 157, you're like, wait, was that last week or this, you know what I mean? But this week's 113, man. So huge shout out to Avanko for curating that with me. And a huge shout out to everybody committed to Let Sunday. We actually had quite the playlist this week, man. This one was like super fucking stacked, so I definitely recommend this one. I mean, I recommend it every week, but this one in particular, I remember when I was putting it together was like actually. But there's literally 113 volumes of it, so definitely go check it out Sunday. If that's something you're interested in, definitely go show that some love and share the playlist with your friends. Put your friends on. Show your friends that the underground, hip hop, and all sorts of genres are not dead. SoundCloud Sunday kind of proves that, but I digress. That's the whole point of music. So, but regardless, SoundCloud Sunday Volume 113 is available right now. Definitely go check that out. And huge committed to. And like I said, huge shout out to Avanko for. And that kind of kicks off today. Here we are, Monday, December 18th. Next week, Christmas. Kind of crazy, kind of crazy. Because today is Monday, so actually this year, Christmas falls on a Monday. Fucking nuts. Not that it's like a big deal or anything, but I don't think that has ever happened for like the podcast lifespan. The podcast has only been around since like I guess like the start of 2021 or something like that. And yeah, no, I don't think we've ever had a holiday as major as Christmas be on a Monday. I know we've had like New Year's. Felt like we had a lot of holiday Mondays this year for some strange reason. Unless I'm tripping, like definitely feel like we did there. Um, but regardless, let's talk about how Music Mondays is going to cap off the end of three, what you can expect for the end of the year, what you can expect for the beginning of January, and a whole lot of other stuff. So, let's get into it, my friends. So, two things off the rip. You guys know the drill per usual. Um, we are recruiting. If you're interested in joining the Music Monday staff team, we are on the hunt for writers, journalists, designers, curators, media personalities, anybody who's interested in staff team for any of our roles. We are on the hunt, my friends. So we do have a couple of positions open. So we're interested in adding a couple more staff members at the start of the year and the end of the year for 2024. So make sure you get in contact with us. We're about 15 or 14, I believe. So staff is pretty big. It's growing, but we're gonna cap it off relatively soon. So I want to make sure that we let everybody know that we are still recruiting. Like I said, if you want any more information on those roles for the Music Money staff, we have a very wonderful detailed guide available on our YouTube channel right now. Kind of going through a whole lot of role breakdowns, essentially what a writer, curator, designer, what you're all expected to well can do, well you know really do for Music Mondays and things like that. So we really break down the role on our channel, but of course make sure you contact with us. Resume preferred, but definitely not required. We're always interested in getting any new writers or any new passionate designers kind of started in I guess social media content creation, really underground content creation. So definitely get in contact with us. Fit your description. Um, and the other thing that we always mention is we are on the hunt for SoundCloud exclusive. So if you're interested in getting a SoundCloud track hosted on the music SoundCloud, we are absolutely interested. Of course, unreleased. We only really want the unreleased version of your track. We are only looking to really build our SoundCloud archive and our library and really support artists and our supporters in a different way. So again, if you have an unreleased track that you'd like to really get hosted on the Music Money SoundCloud and promoted on all of our socials for free, definitely let us know. We'll be happy to have that conversation with you. We're super interested. And again, we're only interested in the unreleased edition of your track. If you feel like uploading on all platforms afterwards, or you have other plans for it, like a music video, that's fine. We're only interested in SoundCloud version. So just keep that in mind. But one other thing is that we also are looking for YouTube videos as well. So if you're interested in getting a unreleased music video, a unreleased track, audio, video, visual, things like that, hosted on the Music Money's YouTube channel, same as SoundCloud. We only want to host the unreleased YouTube version. Of course, hosted on our channel for free and promoted across all of our socials for free. So again, if you're interested in, definitely get in contact with us, and we'll be happy to have that conversation. Because again, our channel is something that we're consistently growing and is super active. So we'd like to get a little refresher of some exclusive music and content over there. Definitely send us a message or an email. But so that's that, my friends. Now that those two things are kind of out of the way, let's talk what's upcoming on Music Mondays over the course of the next week or so. So we have a lot of major content to kind of finish out the year. I know a couple of major articles are being worked on. A couple of really important pieces are being worked on, but realistically, the thing that's most important right now is the Music Mondays Awards, which we'll be talking about here in a second. But again, outside of that, our weekly content and our monthly content is definitely mostly going to stay the same. We're going to be celebrating hitting 2K followers on Twitter, which is actually fucking insane. There's definitely something that I want to say about that. So expect a 2K celebration relatively soon. in in really unison with something else on our Patreon as well. So we'll have a 2K announcement and a Patreon announcement relatively by New Year's, if not at the top of the year, to kind of really figure out how we're going to do things. But um, again, really trying to tie up a bunch of loose ends as far as content goes, and a lot of important things here at Music Mondays. So we just want to make sure we go into 2020 strong. We're still in the middle of a couple of talks with potential new staff members as well, so I want to make sure I get them set up and really start to just elevate content when it comes down to the show, the platform, that. So yeah, really tying up some loose ends and really getting up our back end of content pretty much tied up, and hyper focusing on the music. So not much is changing. Maybe like a couple of refresh. You might see some logos here or there, but Music Mondays is going into 2024 with full steam ahead. If I'm being completely so, definitely super excited for that, and I'm just really excited to see where the platform goes this year because I have a lot of like really bigger plans, especially with the team, and I know they're like really enthusiastic about a lot of upcoming content as well. And I have a couple of side projects that I'm working on, so I'm really excited for 2024 to see where it goes and really get to work. For right now, just tying up loose ends for the end of 2023. Taking a little bit of a rest as well, because we had a crazy ass year. Fucking all of us worked our ass off, bro. All of us killed it this year, so we definitely deserve at least like a week break or something like that to just really like refresh for the new year. So that'll be nice. But yeah, that's what's going on at Music Mondays, my potential new staff members, potential new content, tying up loose end content, Music Mondays awards, and really celebrating 2K and a couple of new Patreon happening. Um, yeah, yeah, absolutely stay tuned, and of course, make sure you're following us on all socials at All Music Mondays, Twitter, Facebook, to stay up to date with everything that we're doing here on the show. But. So, let's talk Music Mondays awards because that's going to be very important. So, um, when it comes down to the Music Mondays award, we're gonna have a little conversation. So, I think I spoke about this. Um, I think I spoke about this a little bit like 2 or 3 weeks ago here on the show, where we really kind of spoke briefly about the Music Mondays awards in 2023 and how we're gonna change the format and try something. So that's what we're gonna talk about, and we're gonna talk about the next week or so. So, this will be very important. Um, so last year we had the 2022 Music Mondays Award. That was really divided up into, I think it was like 10 categories. Things like Artist of the Year, Producer of the Year, Designer of the Year. Um, the 2022 live stream of the Music Mondays Awards is also available right now on our channel. But when it comes down to the 2023 Music Mondays Award, we're gonna switch things up a little bit and really try something new. And I think the community, everybody else is really gonna like it. So last year, for those of you that weren't around, um, we really didn't have as big of a staff or as big of a following. We pretty much doubled in staff and we pretty much doubled in following. So we didn't really have as much opinions and words and people and bodies and hands to pull from when it comes down to the Music Mondays Awards. So last year's in 2022 was a bit more hands on when it comes down to the staff. We were really the ones to nominate people. We were really the ones to figure out who we wanted to be Artist of the Year and things like that. We didn't really have the community involved because again, we kind of had like, or we kind of had like half of the community that we have now. So there's like a little bit of a difference when it comes into like this year. So I definitely wanted to get the community involved in some shape or form. And I just didn't really know how we wanted to do that format because I think with the increase of like staff roles and with the increase of everybody kind of um really becoming more aware of Music Mondays growth and things like that, I really think it'd be beneficial to kind of really switch up the format. So why that's like super super important is we figured out a really decent format to um really get everybody involved, including the staff and the community. So the solution that we came up to was us as Music Money staff members, all like 15 or 16 of us came up with a bunch of nominations, and we're gonna vote on which nominations kind of make it through, right? Because we could come up with like 10 artists of the year, 10 producers, but how do we really like dumb those down? So we had like kind of a um like insider poll on the nominations and who we thought really deserved to be like in the top three. That's really what we wanted to narrow it down to, was three nominations for each category. Because as opposed to last year, we didn't really have any votes or nominations. We just kind of cranked out awards and we cranked out honorable mention. You know what I mean? So we didn't really have like a top three. Um, but uh, this year we kind of got a massive group of names together for each category and voted them down to three names per category. So there's a top three that kind of made it through, and now we have three names per category. So what are we going to do with these names? Well, when it comes down to the Music Mondays Awards, like I said, we're not going to have a show next Monday because obviously that's Christmas. So everybody's going to be busy. I'm going to be busy spending time with family. Everybody's going to be doing their thing. So what we're going to do is host episode 153, the last episode of the year technically, on December 29th, that Friday, basically New Year's weekend. And of course, the reasoning behind that is mostly the holiday, because otherwise we'd probably just do it on Monday, but Christmas is there. But the other reasoning was we're going to put out polls for each of the categories for the Music Mondays Awards. So, for example, when it comes down to like Artist of the Year and Producer of the Year and Designer of the Year, we're going to have three names and we're going to do polls on our Twitter. And obviously, that's, where we have our largest following. So that's a no brainer. But we're going to do polls on Twitter for each of the categories, and we're going to have three nominations for every category. So essentially, you'll be able to go with your picks and really vote for your friends if you have any, vote for somebody who you think really deserves it. And that way, we kind of had the staff narrow it down, and we were able to kind of really like get our picks in, but like the picks that we really thought deserved it are the ones who are going to make it. So you'll see all the polls go up on the 21st. So that way you'll have exactly a week. That'll be the 28th. The following day will be the 29th, and the 20s award. So essentially the poll will be up for an entire week. You'll be able to kind of vote for your friends, vote for who you think deserves it, etc., etc. And we'll close the polls on the 28th, exactly 7 days after that. And then we'll have the Music Mondays Awards on the 29th. So that's something that's very, very important. But that'll kind of solidify that deal, and we'll be able to really like get the community involved, but really still have community submissions, right? I think that's also something that was very, very important. And community picks and community voting, I just really wanted the community involved in some way that wasn't like super like disingenuous or really like minor. I really wanted the community to like play a major role when it comes down to this. So yeah, very, very important. And that's the deal with the Music Mondays Awards for 2023. So just to recap, we have a top three nomination for each category. There's about 10 categories. Polls and voting will start this Thursday, December 21st. So make sure you follow us on socials, especially Twitter at All Music Mondays, to really stay up to date and really fully keep up with who all the nominations are, so you can vote for certain people, etc., etc., etc. So again, polls will go live this Thursday. Polls officially close next Thursday. So exactly 7 days from Thursday, we'll be closing the polls, and we'll be like uh really bring you guys a quality kind of show and something really new, right? Because I loved the Music Money's Awards in 2022, but I really think that 2023 is going to be really cool. So yeah, that's the deal with that, my friends. Of course, that'll be uploaded on the YouTube channel. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. We upload 2 times a week. We're on our road to 240 subscribers. Definitely like the video. Definitely let us know what you think about the Music Mondays Awards 2024 format, or 2023 format. I'm sorry. And polls this week, my friends. Polls this week. Let's get it. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. So, well done, well done. I'm definitely glad that we were able to really talk about that and really kind of deep dive into how the Music Mondays Awards is going to work this year, because that's like very important. You know what I mean? I definitely wanted to have like a clear vision of that. You know what I mean? I definitely did. So with that said, let's get into it. Let's talk reactions and reviews. Let's pull up some submissions for tonight. Let's see what everybody's doing. Let's get into it. So let's pop open our submission tweet and see what we have. So um for those of you that don't know, tweets are in the same format every single week. They always read Arts and Creatives. Submissions are open for live reviews on Music Mondays, live on December 18th, 2023 at 7 p.m. time. Twitch.tv/plays, which is here now. If you'd like to submit your music, artwork, fashion, or digital creation, drop your links and portfolios below. All art forms are welcome. For our show limit, must be following Music Mondays on Twitter to be eligible. Patreon subscribers, submissions played first each week. So, what does all that mean? Why is all that relevant? What's going down? Where does that kind of, come in? So, um, when it comes down to um, submissions, of course, December 18th, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is here now. Contrary to our name, Music Mondays, we've reacted to everything here on the show, from music, artwork, fashion, or digital creation. Drop your links and portfolios. So essentially, again, contrary to our name, Music Mondays, we've reacted to everything here on the show, from um, quite literally music, artwork, photographs, fashion, merch, instrumentals, all sorts of things here on the show. So we've had plenty of different kinds of submissions. And of course, we wanted to be all inclusive here on the show, but there's another reason that's bigger than that, was because so many artists are so multi talented, right? Like, so many people who are designers are also producers, or also editors, also do vocals. You know what I mean? So you never really want to kind of narrow yourself down to one um specific art form, and that's definitely what we didn't want to do. So, that's that. And of course, feel free to submit everything and anything here to the show. We're absolutely open. And of course, for our show limit, uh, that's just to really make the show a little bit more palatable to watch back. Of course, one could argue even a 4-hour show is a little bit lengthy to watch back, but it's really nothing compared to the 5, 6, 7 hour shows that we used to, like, last year, the year before. So, for our show limit, it's kind of like where we're at as far as that goes. Um, so of course, um, outside of that, the only other thing that we really ask of the community is that you're following Music Mondays on Twitter before you submit. Of course, submissions are always free. They always have been. They always will be. So of course, in exchange, we always just ask that you're following Music Mondays on Twitter before you submit, to not only help grow our community, but to just pay respect to everybody that always submits the Music Mondays podcast, everybody else that waits for their submission, and of course, you gain access to a wonderful community of creatives, and of course, Music Mondays. So, definitely fair trade, in my opinion. But, yeah, that's about it, my friends. Of course, Patreon subscribers' submissions are played first each week here on the show. For those of you that don't know, the Music Mondays Patreon has the Fast Pass, of course, available at all tiers on our Patreon. That is a way for you to guarantee the entirety that you're pledged to the Music Mondays podcast on Patreon. that your submissions get played first week here on the show. So it's essentially think about it as like a theme park kind of theme here. Um, you're kind of like buying a fast pass, and you can guarantee that you're played first and always get played here on the show. Because, like I said, with the 4 hour show limit in place now, sometimes we can't guarantee that every submission is played here on the show. Because sometimes we do hit that 4 hour show limit. So we wanted to give people a way to really guarantee that their submissions get played. So that's pretty much our solution to that. And of course, that's not only like our main attraction on our Patreon, but there's definitely a lot of like really good um perks over there on the Music Mondays Patreon. A lot of really, really good support eligibility, and there's a lot of like really important stuff coming when it comes down to 2024. So I'm definitely really excited to show you guys what we have coming over there on Patreon. Huge shout out to all of our current. Thank you. So, that's just about it, I would say. The only other thing that we do got to mention is, of course, submissions close a couple hours before the show starts. That's just to keep the show free flow. We are a live show, so we want to make sure that we don't really have anybody kind of cutting the line. They're messing up submissions. They're like, oh, da 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 da, because once we're live, that's pretty much a thumb to really tell if submissions are open or not. So roughly you have about 7 days to submit your tracks here on the show each week. So of course you have plenty of time. But of course, when the show's live, submissions are definitely closed. Of course, just because we like to keep the show low, we are a live show, so we don't really like to take any like super like last minute submissions that kind of mess up the order of things. Really throw us off track, right? Because you could cut in front of somebody that submitted like 4 days ago, just because of how the RNG. So again, we just like to give everybody a fair amount of time. And of course, submissions are open every Tuesday. So if you're interested in submitting for episode 154 of the Music Mondays podcast, because 53 will be the Music Mondays Awards. So if you're interested in submitting for episode 154, make sure you follow us on Twitter, because submissions will be tomorrow. If you're watching on YouTube, submissions are definitely already open. So follow us on Twitter and all of our socials to stay up to date. But outside of that, my friends, I think that's pretty much everything super, super major when it comes down to the show. And those are all your crazy details and everything you'd want to know about the show. Of course, if you have any questions about the music podcast, feel free to send us a message, leave a comment, and of course, check out all of our guides on the Music Mondays channel. Man, we have a how to submit guide, we have a Music Mondays podcast guide, and of course, all that stuff will be updated for 2024, going into the new year. So that'll be really cool. But with that said, my friends, let's get into it. I didn't see any Patreons here tonight. I believe we have a straight line of community submissions. So I am absolutely down 100%. Let's get into it, my friends. So, first submission of the night, the homie Blonde. This is a first time submitting artist. Duh Blonde. Duh LOL is their bio, so I'm definitely down. Produced by Bronwyn, run by Bronwyn, and it's actually called Death Row. Okay. So let's pop this open a new tab and let's see what Blonde is up to. So 9 days ago, actually super, super new. I am absolutely down. All right, first time submitting artist. Let's get into it. At the Blonde, Death Row. Okay.
Today, so she can like see me tomorrow. But bitch, I'm leaving tonight. I don't care if you like cry. Lost in your eyeshadow. I feel like I'm on death row. See me like all scratched, and I'm not even mad. You always take me for granted. You only care when I'm leaving.
Okay, so that was like that was very interesting. I haven't heard a sound like that in quite some time. It's definitely been a while since I've heard somebody really tap into that like new age like all rock sound. I like that a lot. I like that a lot for sure. I definitely think Blonde has like a really solid sound when it comes to like vocals mixed with instrumentals for sure, no question. Um, but let's talk about it, man. So we're gonna talk about three things here. Talk about the instrumental, talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme of Death Row. Kind of an interesting theme here as well. Um, so let's talk instrumental. Um, Instrumental Shining Star. Or no, instrumental mix. I'm sorry. Instrumental mix is fantastic, actually, especially when you consider like how hard sometimes these guitars can be to like mix and really get like dumbed down. Mix is fantastic. Drums are solid. Vocals sit nice. Nothing like kind of fighting with each other. Super clashy. I'm big on the mix, especially as far as the instrumental goes. Um, yeah, everything cuts through nicely. Drums are solid. I didn't really notice anything that was like I had that much of a gripe with, you know. So instrumental makes solid. Instrumental shining star. I like the guitar a lot. I definitely like the melodies like a real lot for sure. Mm, but the drums are definitely up there though. Like the drums are really up there. Um, I guess the guitar is gonna be the thing that you'd like ultimately like super remember though. I just feel like that'd be the thing to get like really stuck in your head as far as like being catchy, but the drums like kind of knock really hard. That's why I'm like really leaning towards them, and I definitely like the sound selection as well. Um, hmm, probably the melody. I'm not gonna lie, probably the melody. Gotta be just because that's gonna be the thing to get stuck in your head is like super catchy. So, instrumental shining star definitely the melody. Um, let's talk vocals here. Vocal mix is fantastic. Actually, I like the kind of like gritty, almost like radio like effect we get here from Blonde, mixed with like the aggressiveness and like the heaviness of this instrumental. So the vocal mix is right where it needs to be, definitely. Um, Everything cuts through nicely. Vocals definitely sit nice. Nothing clashy to overbearing at all. Um, yeah, no gripes with the vocals. It has that like grit that you'd want with something as like deep as this, for sure, for sure. Um, So vocal shining star, vocal mix awesome, definitely. Uh, Probably the flow and cadence. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like the flow and cadence is something that could have been really solid here, or like really kind of like just a bit different. But I feel like Blonde nailed it when it comes down to like the flow and cadence and the delivery of everything here, no doubt. That was the thing that kind of like took me back the most. I was like, wow, okay, I see you, Blonde. But definitely flow and cadence and delivery for sure, for sure. Um, So instrumental solid, definitely melody, vocal solid, definitely the flow and cadence and delivery. Let's talk theme here. So aesthetics. Definitely some interesting aesthetics here. I like the simple route a lot. Like there isn't too much going on here, but what is going on here is super detailed and I like it. I like it a lot. It has that like real slight like medieval yet like vintage kind of feel to it. Text in the middle, artist down below. Not much more you can really ask for here. I think it's solid. I definitely think it's really solid for a single as well. So it does the job, right? Um, Overall theme. Now, this is kind of an interesting theme because I think Blonde really touches on a couple of things here when it comes down to emotions and personal aspects of life, and really just kind of like getting through certain trials and tribulations. Um, this is definitely one where you could dissect it and really find out like I guess like a true ultimate theme to this. But right off rip, it's definitely one where it feels like um, Blonde was getting something off their chest, right? And it felt like they were getting a lot of emotion and like um, real rawness out of their body and off their chest. So I think that's what's really solid about this. Is it's one of those tracks that like every artist needs, right? Even if you don't do it all the time, I just feel like every once in a while it feels good to be able to get your on a track. With that said, well done, my friend. Well done. Make sure you follow the homie Blonde on SoundCloud. They are literally 9 followers away from 100. Go show them some love in the cloud, man. And of course, make sure you follow Blonde on SoundCloud. Or on Twitter. I'm sorry. They are 3 followers away from 470. Go show them some love in the bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We are approaching 240 subscribers on the main channel, man. I think we're about 9 or away. So, channel some love and go show these artists some love. And of course, we upload literally 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, whole lot of good stuff available over there on the channel, my friends. So, go sub to the channel, go show these artists some love, and huge shout out to everybody that already is, man. You guys are amazing. Thank you. But we left off with the homie Blonde, and up next is the homie Pooh. Now, Pooh's definitely an artist that has made SoundCloud Sunday a number of times, 100% a number of times. But this will definitely be the first time that we've gotten to go. So they submitted a track titled "Hopeless." Hip hop recording artist for booking your features. The email got a lot of creds in the bio. We love that. We love that. Okay, so first time submitting artist, the homie Pooh. So this came out November 15th, so definitely not that old at all. Let's get into it. First time submitting artist Pooh, Hopeless Nights.
Feel like I should cry, feelings pushed aside, tears won't come out these eyes. It hurts when I hear the words, feel like I should die. Why should I try when everything is lies? Feel like I'm despised, true colors, no disguise with lotus eyes. I know the skies, send texts with no replies, no friends, even if I need a night with the guys to drink away my mind. I'm the pain to find a way to try this weight I carry, this weight of mine. Purgatory weight on mine. They say the only thing we got is time. No way to press rewind. No one. Sometimes you need to hold tight, chin up, stay in the fight. Hard to know what's wrong when you don't know what's right. Laying awake in bed, this is for those hopeless nights. Laying awake in bed, this is for those hopeless nights. Hopeless nights. I wanna touch you, I want you to feel it, I want you to hear it. I wanna connect, if not in life, then in death. If not in jest, then in breath. In stress, I rest with the blessed. OCD, I'm a mess, I confess. Nevertheless, weight on my back, tightness in my chest. Pray to God, see the likeness in my flesh. Righteous, nice and fresh. Wondering how many nights are left till I see death at my steps. Everyone got regrets, but we can't regress. Gotta focus on what's next and step away from the cliff. Sometimes I just think of those paths and the way that they're missed. Ain't it some shit? Don't know what you got, but every day is a gift. But I'm broke as shit, and I pray for my kids' sins of their father. Is there forgiveness for my sins? Sometimes you need to hold tight, chin up, stay in the fight. Hard to know what's wrong when you don't know what's right. Laying awake in bed, this is for those hopeless nights. Laying awake in bed, this is for those hopeless nights. Hopeless nights. There's no light with no dark, no good without bad, no bite without bark, no mom without dad, no rhymes with no lab. Some voices never heard it, so sad. Reflecting on the days I was so mad, with no smile and no laugh. Felt like I was stranded, took things and people for granted. God damn it, life's so rancid and filled with pain. Sorry I used your name in vain, but it needed emphasis at the end of my sentences. Penitentiary, is that what my sentence is? I'm feeling choked, valley, death, and smoke. Please, God, tell me that there's hope. Please, God, tell me that there's hope. Please, God, tell me that there's hope.
That was crazy. Okay. Let's talk about this one then, because holy shit. Um. All right. So, like I said, um, who's an artist that we featured on SoundCloud Sunday a couple of times, but definitely not reacted here on the show. So, this will be really, really cool to do. So let's talk instrumental. Let's talk vocals. Let's talk overall theme. Um, so starting off with the instrumental, let's talk instrumental mix. The mix is great. I think the mix is actually fantastic. I felt like I said this a lot lately, but I haven't really came across any like shitty mixed instrumentals in quite a while. Like I'm kind of shocked. Like sometimes there's like weird small nitpicky shit you could talk about, but in the grand scheme of things, I think a lot of that doesn't really matter. As long as the mix is nice and level and your vocals are like standing tall, but everything still knocks in the instrumental. There's only so much of a perfect sound you can really achieve in that. So, with that said, I definitely think this is right along those lines of a solid instrumental. Everything's nice and level, nothing clashing, too overbearing. Vocals sit nice, everything cuts through nice. I like the drum selection. Super solid, man. Super solid. Instrumental mix definitely solid. So instrumental shining star. Hmm. Probably the melody. I like the drums. The drums had like a really solid rhythm, and I like the drum sound selection in general. But the melody is something that gave that like hometown kind of like rainy night kind of feel, and it's definitely just something you're definitely gonna remember about this track, no question. Um, so definitely melody for sure. Um, so instrumental solid, definitely the melody. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix is fantastic. I think Pooh has like a really solid natural voice. So you only really want to clean up the vocals, and you don't really want to go crazy with processing unless it's like a crazy thing, something that you want to do. But Pooh does a really good job, kind of like letting their natural voice flow in this. And again, vocals sit nice, drums cut through nicely, everything's nice and level, vocals are nice and clear and loud. Definitely no gripes with the vocal mix at all. A vocal shining star, man. So there's a couple things that really impressed me here. Flow and cadence, I'm really big on, especially in the second verse. I feel like that was really solid. But writing throughout the whole fucking track was like really fucking excellent. So probably writing, if I'm being completely honest with you. I really think writing is up there. Flow and cadence definitely, but writing throughout the whole track was like okay, like there's a lot of really solid punchlines and rhyme schemes and kind of like just like little tidbits here or there that are just like really cool nods, man. So, writing, definitely writing. So instrumental solid, definitely the melody, vocal solid, definitely the writing. Let's talk theme, aesthetics. Um, I like the simple approach here. Um, I definitely like the simpler approach here. Kind of, kind of like a safe bet when it comes down to like certain singles and certain like certain directions like for single tracks. I definitely think this one kind of nails it as far as like getting the point across, but not revealing too much of what the track's about, right? Um, Overall theme. So, uh, I mean, relatively obvious overall theme here, right? I definitely think Pooh kind of goes in about having those like ups and downs in life and really starting to feel um hopeless in one way or another, right? There's a lot of bars that kind of like point to that. There's a lot of really cool punchlines that Pooh used here that really kind of like fully explain what it to like feel hopeless, right? Like I feel like one of the lines was something like dark without light and light without dark kind of thing, kind of like the yin yang theory at the end of the day. Like everybody's gonna have their ups and downs, but like sometimes those like really shitty nights are um something that you're never gonna forget as an artist, as a person, as a human, no matter what you do, right? But especially as an artist or a creator, I definitely feel like a lot of those like self questioning nights will really have you like uh feeling like super down, right? Super hopeless, but definitely feel like Pooh kind of put all those words in a really good track here. Definitely was able to like fully like really describe what this is like, right? I definitely think a lot of people can relate. No doubt, no doubt. So well done, my friend. Huge shout out to Pooh. Thank you so much for the submission. Make sure you follow Pooh on Spotify, and of course, make sure you follow Pooh on Twitter. They're 10 followers away from 380. Go show Pooh some love, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the music channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 240 subscribers, my friends. Finally, 240. Let's get it, baby. We upload 2 times a week, every Saturday, full podcast episodes. A lot of good stuff's available. So make sure you go show these artists and the channel some and of course, if you already have, thank you, my friend. But we left off with the homie Pooh. Up next is the homie Mac 2 times. It's been a while since we heard from Mac Man, a super talented alternative hip hop vocalist. Mac is back. It's been a couple weeks. But Mac submitted a track titled Mask. Let's see, and I am absolutely down. Oh, this looks like to be some unreleased. Okay. So we can't pop this one and open a new tab unless we have a direct link to it. So I'm definitely down to get into it right here. Let's get into it. Unreleased Mac 2 times.
BJ, this a hit, boy.
Tell me, have you had that feeling that you gon' die? If I'm being honest, I don't really care too much, it's showed inside. I be putting on my mask, gon' show emotions, never cry. Guess why I wanna hold my feelings in, I lose my mind. I can't live this life right now, I know I'm all alone. Why not die now if I don't got nowhere to go? Don't even got no deep down feelings, cause I don't got no soul. I ain't lying when I say I don't wanna be here no more. If yeah, I said I'm all alone, you heard me right. I repeat it again, just so you know that I ain't lying. Somebody ask me how I'm doing, I always say I'm fine. I tell them my emotions, but they laugh, so that's why. So I guess you could say I'm kinda traumatized. Hesitant about talking how I feel, cause I guess it's funny trying. Understand with drugs, trying to take myself away so I can fly. Out on it today, I'll let you know I wish I died. So I guess you could say I'm kinda traumatized. Hesitant about talking how I feel, cause I guess it's funny trying. Understand with drugs, trying to take myself away so I can fly. Out on it today, I'll let you know I wish I died. Tell me, have you had that feeling that you gon' die? Being honest, I don't really care too much, it's showed inside. I be putting on my mask, won't show emotions, never cry. Guess that's cry, I wanna hold my feelings in, I lose my mind. I can't live this life right now, I know I'm all alone. Why not die now if I don't got nowhere to go? Don't even got no deep down feelings, cause I don't got no soul. I ain't lying when I say I don't wanna be here no more. No, without knowing what you did, just know you changed my demeanor. If you don't even really care, shit, I guess I don't either. Take some alcohol and chug it down, I need one more liter. These bottles ain't never gonna leave me, so I know she's a keeper. One day I might just KO, leave my body cold. Life gon' be stressful, just fight through it, that's all I was told. Devil tapping on my shoulder, said just end it, be bold. If you don't got nobody else, so you might as well fold. One day I might just KO, leave my body cold. Life gon' be stressful, just fight through it, that's all I was told. Devil tapping on my shoulder, said just end it, be bold. If you don't got nobody else, so you might as well tell me, have you had that feeling that you gon' die? Being honest, I don't really care too much, it's showed inside. I be putting on my mask, won't show emotions, never cry. Guess that's cry, I wanna hold my feelings in, I lose my mind. I can't live this life right now, I know I'm all alone. Why not die now if I don't got nowhere to go? Don't even got no deep down feelings, cause I don't got no soul. I ain't lying when I say I don't wanna be here no more. No.
Mm-hmm. Insane fade out. I like that fade out a lot. Okay, so let's get into it here, my friends. Let's get into it. So, we're gonna talk about three things. We'll talk about the instrumental, talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme of Mask. Definitely an interesting theme. Um, let's talk instrumental. So, instrumental mix is fucking great. If I'm being completely honest with you. Usually Mac definitely has a super solid instrument. So not really a comes down. Um, this track definitely not a shock. Instrumental mix is great though. Nothing clashing to overbearing. Drums cut through nicely. Vocals sit nicely. Drums definitely knock. Definitely no gripes. Definitely no. So instrumental mix solid. Instrumental mix. Shining Star. Or no, instrumental Shining Star, I should say. Um. Hmm. I like the melody a lot. Definitely. Um. But I think something about the drums, and more specifically like the 808, really like locked this one in for me. I'm not gonna lie. So definitely the drums are the shining star here, no doubt. But the melody's a close second. Structure's up there too, but definitely the drums. Um, so instrumental solid, instrumental shining star. Definitely the drums. Let's talk vocals here. Vocal mix is great again. Mac definitely has a solid vocal mix as we head out of 2023 for sure. Looking back on Mac two times 2023, how their vocals progressed and how kind of ended up and things like that. I think Mac did a really good job when it comes down to like really honing in on their style and really like sharpening their sword when it comes down to their vocal mix, or their engineer, either way. But regardless, their vocals have done nothing but really just kind of improve. You know what I mean? So, vocal mix fantastic here. Not a question. Not a question at all. Yeah, nothing clashing to overbearing. Everything cuts through nicely. Yeah, no gripes now that I think about it. Um, so vocal mix solid. Vocal shining star. I like I like the flow and cadence, right? I definitely like the flow and cadence. Um, but I think writing is really what's important here. I think Mac really was able to like really pour their heart out when it comes down to like being super honest. Mac is honest in most tracks, but I feel like they were very honest and very honest. So for me, writing definitely did the job here. No question, writing did the. So instrumental solid. Definitely the drums, vocal solid. Definitely uh writing. Now let's talk themes. So for a track named Mask, this is kind of like the ultimate cover you'd really want. Realistically, like this is definitely how you'd want this track to look for sure. Uh kind of has that like theater opera kind of look, but also like slightly altered as well. And then we have the text at bottom left and the parts of advisory bottom right. Definitely has that Mac two times kind of charm, but definitely solid for a track titled Mac. No question. Um, the overall theme, right? I think Mac kind of dives into a multitude of things here, but mostly kind of having to put on a mask in life and like progress through life and have to like um deal with certain traumas and emotions and like not really have anybody to talk to. Therefore, you kind of have to put on a mask for certain days and sometimes weeks. You know what I mean? Around certain. So I think Mac is kind of diving into that sort of feeling, kind of explaining how going through that has affected them, right, and changed them as a person. You know, really explores the feeling that like not everybody needs to go through, right? I definitely true. It's definitely like a really shitty feeling to go through, but it's definitely one of those like definitely one of those feelings that like like it has a valuable lesson. You know what I mean? It has a real valuable lesson. I think it's very fucking important, no question. Um So yeah, that's a very like powerful theme, but I think Mac does a really good job kind of laying the table and about how they feel, especially when it comes down to topics like. Well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to Mac 2 times. Make sure you follow Mac on SoundCloud, and of course, make sure you follow Mac on Twitter. Mac is approaching 160 followers on the Bird app, my friend. So make sure you go show Mac some love. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube free upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 240 subscribers on the main channel, my friends. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, 2 segments, a lot of good stuff. Channel, so go show these artists some love, go show the channel some love, and of course, huge shout out to everybody who already has shown us some love. Get it, baby. Let's get it. So, we have the homie Survival in Negativity, Sin and Be Positive Jukebox from our Nightlife for Thinking Introverts EP. Hope you enjoy and thanks for listening. So, for those of you who don't know, Survival in Negativity is a very talented hip hop vocalist, and they submitted Jukebox. Now, I know we've reacted to a track from this project before, I believe. I forget which one. I definitely remember Jukebox or no. No, maybe I'm thinking of a different project. I'm definitely thinking of a different project. But let's see what we got here. Survival Negativity Jukebox.
I've seen jazz and rap develop and come more and more together over the years, like since I started out. And, I felt it was time that I could bring some people together and do something, contribute.
Yeah. Quiet night next to a jazz lounge jukebox that plays mashups of Billie Holiday and Tupac. The DJ is a master. Saved my life the night before. Unique takes on the classics that no one has the right to scorn. I could have sworn I heard Conway over Coltrane. A curious combination of Bertha Cool and Cold Vein. Strange fruition. Tech and Nina Simone and Ethelyn is effortless mixed with MC Breed in the zone. Boom, 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 floating over Sarah Vaughan. It's like singing Seraphim, signing up to share a song in harmony. Herbie Hancock meets Heather B. The beat was heavy as the Glock. She made him drop heavily, and yet it didn't stop. Rock steadily. Julie concocted the melody of Gillespie, and check out my melody. A mesmerizing medley that should have been messy, but dressed up with sexy techniques and textures and messed me up. Blessed me with the ecstasy of Nat King Cole World. An unforgettable sideline story the whole world can appreciate. Heard him mediate a mashup of Max Roast drums with Slum Village. Didn't deviate from the essentials. Made it look as simple as easy bake, but complex as trying to translate a sentence from BB-8 behind Medea. The BB Queen over BB King. The marketing writes itself. Just then I knew I dreamed a dream. I mean, it had to be. Who really has the mastery to mix Charles Mingus and Mr. Majesty, or make magic between Capadonna and Cannonball Adderley with no drawbacks or falls, and make them all live happily in a wonderful world where Louis Armstrong can bring levity to Flav, Chuck D and the Bomb Squad. Public Enemies on paper, but through the speakers meant to be. Just like hip hop and jazz chemistry. Word. It's all love. It's all love. No matter where we fall, love. It's all love. Just remember your love. It's all love. Cause of you, here we all love. We all love. Right. It's all love. It's all love. No matter where we fall, love. It's all love. Just remember your love. It's all love. Cause of you, here we all love. We all love. It's all love. It's all love. Yeah. It's all love. It's all love. Yeah. Dedicated to the giants that we stood on the shoulders of. Word up. Yeah.
Okay. So, what I was thinking of, I was definitely thinking of another song titled Jukebox. That's exactly what I was thinking of, no doubt. I was like, dude, have I heard this? But no, I definitely remember another song from somebody else titled Jukebox. This I definitely have not heard because shit. Shit. Okay, so um let's get into it, my friends. We're gonna talk about three things here. We're talk about the instrumental, talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme. Jukebox. Let's talk instrumental. Instrumental mix. Again, fantastic. Nothing clashing, too overbearing. Drums are super solid. Um, vocals sit nice. Samples are nice. Um, Nothing that I would ultimately change, to be honest with you. Again, everything's nice and level, super solid. Nothing that really like stuck out to me, you know. So, instrumental mix definitely solid. Um, hmm, Instrumental shining star. So I like the drums a lot. I definitely think the drums are a big high note here for sure, but I do think the melody and the kind of chill like jazz vibe that they were going for really nailed it for sure. So definitely the melody 100%. Um but drums are super solid. Drums are definitely super. Um so let's talk vocals. A vocal mix. Again, Survival and Negativity is an artist that's always had like a really solid vocal mix for all their um I haven't really noticed anything in their vocals that really like stick out to me that's like a little off or anything like that. They have a really solid natural voice when it comes to like hip hop and rap, so they do a good job in their job really like letting that shine. So vocal mix solid, nothing clashing to everything's nice and goes through nice. I like where it is for sure. I definitely like where it is. Um Vocal shining star. Mm, Probably Flow Cadence is a close second, man, but the writing was just so cool to listen to, man. You were just like figuring out bars and you were getting ready for the next punchline. You were just in flow. Definitely the writing for sure. Definitely the writing. The writing was fun but serious at the same time for sure. So instrumental solid, definitely the melody, vocal solid, definitely the writing. Let's talk theme. So, this is a uh 7-track project from Sin and Be Positive. This art is actually fucking crazy. Whoever did this art did a really good job. I like the like children, like Silverstein, kind of like library feel to this. I definitely think this is really fucking solid when it comes down to like something that really like screams chill, but also is very like project worthy. This is definitely that for sure. Especially with like the addition of like cursive. I like this a lot. It gives that like chill, laid back kind of feel, you know. It really does. For sure it does. So overall theme of Jukebox, I mean, they were definitely going for like a jazz slash um collab kind of sound here, but I definitely think Sin did a really good job kind of keeping up with the chill vibes yet keeping it somewhat serious as well. Um there's enough punchlines in here to really make it feel classical, but I feel like there was a lot of things that kind of made it modern too, and it was definitely a showcase of lyricism from Sin. I think Sin from A to B wrote their ass off. Like this writing and performance, absolutely insane. Really good combo of everything. And I definitely think they hit the mark when it comes down to like this jazz, hip hop, rap kind of blend. No doubt. No doubt. So with that said, huge shout out to Survival and Negativity. Thank you so much for this. Much love. Make sure you follow Sin on Spotify and of course make sure you're on Twitter. There are 9 followers away from 300. That's a great milestone. Love the bird at my friend. Of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We are approaching 240 subscribers on the main. Um, we upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, a lot of good stuff. Go show these artists in the channel some love. So continuing on, we got the homie Zeph. It's been a couple weeks since we heard from Zeph, man. Um, super talented hip hop vocalist. Some a track titled "Escape from Tomorrow." Check it. Will do. I am down. I am down to check it. Get it. Okay, so this is from their collab project, Tomorrow People. Tomorrow People 2 Escape from Tomorrow. So this is oh wow. Wow, so this is quite the project here. Okay. So this is the first track on the project. I'm down. Okay, I'm definitely down. Let's see what we got here. Completely down. Alright, let's get into it. Zeph, Escape from Tomorrow. Let's go.
Temporal space transportation, or as you may know it, time travel. We're covering this tonight because recently there's been a lot of clamor on whether or not the government or some scientists may have come up with this new technology and may be using it for nefarious purposes. Obviously, we know this not to be the case. I mean, what evidence do you need? Look around you. Does anything seem different?
Nigga, I'm a star. Every single thing I do is stellar. I call myself magniloquent and bitter. Niggas telling me to spell it. Niggas try and cross me, gon' end up needing a medic. The triple threat, needle threading. Me and Jeffrey looking like a double header. I use my sword to cut the flowers and put the pedal to the metal of the game. We literally exclaim. Every line got a point under it. Get what I'm saying? Groundbreaking, earth shaking, making brand new terrain. Pound pavement, burn statements, and we still making waves. Tomorrow people call no re-up. Next I'm coining phrases. Magic Johnson with the dime. See court, Dolby Vision on display. It's showtime, baby. That's bronze. Whoa,
Yeah. It's the hand of young Apollo, got the future secured. Continuum toggle, space-time based off the sound to escape. Follow the steps of escape. By 2088, hollow out all cops for society's safety. And yes, I would murk any sheriff as a baby. No measure too drastic when you seen the system. Control C, every person held hostage under siege. The pursuit of capital, put souls under siege. So we walk to every timeline, put their souls under feet. 6 deep undersea where fish feed. The absence of wealth create creeds of purity. See so many times sin fade to obscurity when they can't monopolize the currency of time. Tomorrow people give courtesy and rhyme, set fire to the high-rise burgundy skies. Bury pain so deep so the future can arise. Who them stars in the sky? Yo, yo. Who them stars in the sky?
Make reality of imagination.
Smoke in the skies, 110 degrees outside. Rather have a leash than a lease on life. But at least I'm alive. But if mercy wasn't right, then I probably should have died. But that I was denied. Like so many things in life, even death can happen exactly as I'd like. Air toxic, coughing, visions and concoctions. The food smells caustic. Demons in the ground, but I can only exercise caution. Calling out for help could cost you. Send out signals in the dark and you might end up autopsy. Days is a haze and the screams of hope get softer. I fold 1,000 cranes, each one folded of an apology written in vain. Well wishes to the wisdom I've attained. Every single pain became a smattering, a stain on a page. I lost it all as it came. I see shadows I don't bother to name. To me it's all the same, whether or not they come out from outside the cave. Every noise I am poised to explain as a threat so grave. A problem on its own, because aren't lightning and thunder really the same thing?
Y'all, it wasn't always like this. Targets of our likeness, they retype history. Recalls the crisis.
crisis. They scorched the earth, we called Armstar riots. Kill kings for every era, every timeline with time in caskets. DNR at any point, the X-Files exposed. Tension high with no joints. Back in 34 when got hit, started a world war. We got hit off the sky, they on a world tour to find us. If Brent got hit, you know a bloodline behind him. Hell will rain from the heavens, missiles fly from the silos. Put every arrow on trial. Decide, read your side, free minds, but people need guidance. Me and Brent, not anyone's highness. Go forward, back forward. Tinker with the timing, there's a murder coup, take over. Phoenix rising, there's no peace in trying. Yo.
All right. That was one hell of a track for sure. Let's break it down, man. Let's definitely break it down. We're gonna talk about three things here. We're talking about the instrumental. We're talking about vocals. Talk about the overall theme of Escape from Tomorrow. So, this is definitely an unconventional kind of track, right? It definitely threw me off being 5 minutes and almost 30 seconds as the first track in a 9-track project, right? So a kind of a rough start for anybody like being a first time listener, right? Because you don't really know what to expect, so you kind of want to make a new impact and a good impact for potential new listeners, right? So that's what definitely kind of threw me off here was not only the length, but I guess the switching of instrumentals a lot. I definitely think it was like a very like cypher kind of track, and that was definitely probably, I'm gonna assume, like the creative direction here. So with that said, we're gonna talk about the instrumental first. Interesting instrumental for sure, especially with how it's rotating in and out. There's a lot of variations parts here for sure. But all in all, the mix of everything is fantastic. Mix is fucking awesome. Nothing clashing, too overbearing. All the vocals sit nice, kind of chill. Everything cuts through nicely. Nothing that really like threw me off at all. Even with like the variations of instrumentals throughout the track, I definitely don't think that that the mix was anywhere kind of off-putting or anything like that. I think the mix was solid, to be honest. Because if anything, it's even more impressive for how much this did switch up. I definitely think the mix was right on point for sure. So the instrumental mix is fantastic. Instrumental Shining Star. So it's kind of hard to like pick out one melody or like one set of drums, but I definitely think that one thing that I noticed was the transitions from instrumental to instrumental, and the drops of everything was really on point. So that I definitely got to say, the structure of it all was really solid. Definitely the structure first. So the instrumental mix definitely solid. Instrumental structure definitely a shining star. Let's talk vocals here. So vocals are definitely super solid. I think all three of these artists have a really like solid natural voice, especially when it comes down to like their style of like delivery and flow and cadence and things like that. So as a group and as solo artists, I think their mix is really fucking solid. Everything sits nice in the instrumental, everything cuts through nicely, nothing clashing to overbearing, everything's definitely nice and level. Nothing that I noticed with vocals that was kind of too off either. I think vocals are definitely right where they need to be when it comes down to like really hitting a solid spot for sure. 100%. So everything's definitely right where it needs to be. Vocal shining star. Honestly, probably flow and cadence and delivery. I felt like everybody really flowed and switched up as much as they needed to, or as much as they wanted to during the track. I definitely think there was enough variation and enough versatility here for everybody to really shine, and I definitely think everybody did a really good job kind of showing what they can do when it comes down to like like almost like a cipher, yet like beat switch kind of style, right? So definitely flow and cadence and delivery hit the mark for me, no question. Um so instrumental solid. Um Structure is absolutely the shining star. Vocal solid, definitely the flow and cadence and delivery. Let's talk theme. So, very interesting kind of cover. So, 9-track project. I definitely like the art direction here. I definitely think the art direction for this is super, super fucking solid. Especially when it comes to like the Tomorrow People kind of group here. I definitely think they did a really solid job. Like, um, kind of going simple, but kind of going like super high quality as well. Um, so yeah, I'm definitely gonna go ahead and say that this is like very project worthy, but it's right where it needs to be for something as simple as this. So I like the simplicity of it, but it has that like video game project kind of feel to it, almost like even like a little bit like dark and ambient as well, to be honest. But I definitely think they hit the mark for sure. Um, so overall theme, I definitely don't think that there was like a clear like written theme. I definitely think that this was a great showcase of lyricism, and these artists kind of really wanted to have like an interesting opening track for this project. Especially with the like audio code at the start and the versatile instrumentals and things like that. Definitely an ambitious first track for a project like this, but nonetheless, it definitely indicates that that like there's like you're in for a treat if you do like what you see at first. And I think that's what's solid about it, for sure. With that said, huge shout out to Tomorrow People and Zeph. Thank you so much for the submission, friend. Much, much love. Make sure you follow them on Spotify. And of course, make sure you follow Zeph on Twitter. They're approaching 1.1K on the Bird app, my friend. Go show them some love. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode, every single episode, will be linked in the description of the upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We are approaching 240 subscribers on the main channel, my friends. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episode, this segment, a whole lot of good stuff. Channel, my friends. Make sure you go show these artists and the motherfucking channel motherfucking love. We appreciate you. If you already have, thank you, thank you, thank you. So we left off with the homie Zeph. Up next is the homie Braden. Now, Braden has had one of the craziest 2023s that I think anybody has had this year, for sure. Definitely like top 5, top 3. But a super, super talented alternative vocalist submitted Paper. Let's see what Braden has here for the last track of 2023. I Am Down. So we got a little solo track here from the homie Braden. I'm with it. Let's get into it. Braden, Paper.
Okay, they all tryna say something, and I'm in this bitch, counting stacks, counting paper. They watching me move, yeah, I'm fucking by my haters. I've been counting guala, baby, I've been tryna get my cake up. Baby, tell me what's the move, I've been tryna shake the room, I'ma hop up in the coupe, I'm making money moves, yeah, I'm making money moves, yeah. You said you really bought it, didn't do so. How many bags of you, yeah, I got the Benz, I won't lose, yeah. He only talk about that net. No, he's sending some shots to the sky. No, he's sending some shots to his neck. The boy's an op and he tryna link. I'm like, yeah, like bet. So then when we see him, we gon' send some shots to his vest. Yeah. They all tryna say something, and I'm in this bitch, counting stacks, counting paper. They watching me move, yeah, I'm fucking by my haters. I've been counting guala, baby, I've been tryna get my cake up. Baby, tell me what's the move, I've been tryna shake the room, I'ma hop up in the coupe, I'm making money moves, yeah, I'm making money moves, yeah. You said you really bought it, didn't do so. How many bags of you, yeah, I got the Benz, I won't lose, yeah.
Okay. Okay. A little turn up track here to end the year off. I like it. All right. Let's break this one down, my friends. Let's break this one down. So we're gonna talk about three things here. We're talk about the instrumental, talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme of Paper. So, let's talk instrumental. Instrumental mix is fantastic. Nothing clashing, too overbearing. Nothing that kind of like threw me off. Once again, Braden's one of those artists that has like a really solid instrumental and vocal mix, but strictly speaking on the instrumental, this one's excellent. Drums are solid, Mel's really solid. Definitely no complaints here at all. But definitely no surprise there. Um, Instrumental Shining Star. I feel like the drums are so prominent in this, it's really hard to not say drums. I definitely like the melody here, but I feel like the drums are just so prominent, man, that like it's like you gotta say drums. Even all the way down to the sound selection, the drums are excellent. In my opinion, definitely the drums for sure are the shining star. Let's talk vocals. So vocal mix again, fantastic. Braden is an artist that kind of has their vocals on lock when it comes to any style that they do, whether it is alternative, kind of plug trap stuff, kind of more pop stuff. Like they kind of know what they want to do when it comes down to their vocals. So not really a surprise that these are a super solid set of vocals. Again, nothing clashing, overbearing, nothing that kind of like stuck out to me as like overly crazy, right? But I definitely think super solid nonetheless. So the vocal mix, excellent, absolutely. Um, hmm. So vocal shining star. Writing's definitely up there, but for this one, I kind of want to say flowing cadence and delivery. I feel like Braden was really feeling himself when it came to this track. I definitely feel like flow, cadence, and delivery really up there. But writing's a close second for sure, but flow, cadence, and delivery was just like, oh, okay. Like Braden was definitely feeling himself for sure. So, instrumental solid, definitely the drums. Vocal solid, definitely the flow and cadence and delivery. Let's talk theme. Um, Aesthetics. Definitely going with a little bit of like a little bit more of an art switch up, and I like it to end 2023. I definitely like it. It definitely is like more simple in terms of like a different type of aesthetic, but I'd like to see what Braden comes up with. Definitely, absolutely. But art definitely solid nonetheless. Let's talk themes. So paper, I mean, relatively obvious theme, right? Braden's writing about money throughout the whole track, but I definitely think there's times where Braden kind of dives in on really like the road to actually um financial success and becoming financially successful and really kind of like earning your way through life. And I think Braden was able to like really channel um that inner wealth, you know what I mean, and really tap into chasing their dreams and not really giving a fuck about what anybody. Braden's always done a really good job, kind of tapping into that like future self, current self kind of feeling. So I definitely think this is one of those 100%. And I think they did a really good job, kind of manifesting their future, but also kind of standing on business and really standing clear and like setting the line. You know what I mean? And stating where they're like what road they're really going to take in terms of like continuing to grow as a person and an artist, right? I think Braden did a really good job kind of dumbing that down a little bit and really being able to like have a little bit of fun with a track like this. So well done, well done. Make sure you follow Braden on Spotify. Huge shout out to Braden for the submission. And of course, make sure you follow Braden on Twitter. There are 7 followers away from 60. Go show Braden some love. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube. And of course, make sure you subscribe to Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching we're approaching 240 subscribers on the main channel, my literally upload 2 times a week. Every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good stuff available over there on the channel, my friends. So subscribe if you haven't already, and huge shout out to everybody that already has subscribed. Much love. Let's get it, baby. So, up next we have the homie Lil Caesar, aka Grapes Remix, a super super talented alternative producer. It's been a while since we've heard from Grapes Remix, aka Lil Caesar, man. So they submitted Northtown Reaper. Let's see what we got. I am definitely down. Let's pop this open tab and see what we got. 10 days ago, so super super new. Let's get into it, my friends. Lil Caesar, Northtown Reaper. Lots of love in the comments. Hit it. Actually nuts. Like actually fucking nuts. Okay. So what a track we get to break down here, my friends. All right, let's talk about two things because obviously no vocals. So we're talking about the instrumental and we're talking about the overall theme of Northtown Reaper. So, let's talk instrumental. Instrumental mix fucking fantastic. This is definitely a producer that has a really stellar mix almost all the time. So not really a shocker that their mix is fantastic, but you always want to mention. Nothing clashing to overbearing at all. Nothing that kind of stuck out to me that was a little bit off or anything like that. Even down the structure, everything uh really mix is absolutely on point. Instrumental Shining Star. So this one's gonna be really hard to pick. I think drums are definitely up there, but I think overall structure is definitely something to talk about, and then the vocal chops are also something to absolutely talk about. So drums, structure, vocal chops, all those things kind of immediately come to mind, but I want to say overall structure and how it builds up, like somebody comments, really crazy. Definitely structure. I feel like nailed it. But drums are a super close second. super super cool. So instrumental solid, definitely the structure. Let's talk theme here. So Little Caesars is one of the only producers around. There are many, but one of the only producers that actually like respects themselves as an artist, even though they don't primarily do vocal. They still release instrumental tracks with themes and ideas behind them. Really like solidifying themselves as a producer, not just like somebody working for an artist or that. So they always have super concrete, thought out themes that are like fucking awesome. So I always have a lot of respect. But aesthetics are absolutely on point, especially for a track titled Northtown Reaper. I mean, what else could you really picture here? I mean, that's definitely Reaper, and I like the small additions, right? I like a lot of the smaller edits. I like the mature ESRB rating bottom left. I think that's super solid. It's a lot of the small things that I really like about this. So aesthetics absolutely on. Well done, well done. So the aesthetics absolutely on point. Overall theme, Northtown Reaper, I think is self-explanatory, but I think it's really in the description. A special frequency ground can be found in North Las Vegas where the best music can be written. This song broke my writer's block and is part of the underlying Northtown saga, the third and proud installment. Like, so, Northtown Reaper, you know what I mean? Like, you could really find inspiration in so many things, environments, feelings, people, things, so many things. So many things can let your mind run with a theme, and I think Little Caesar kind of iron. So Northtown Reaper is exactly like what solo prod likes putting. Fucking well done, well done. Huge shout out to Little Caesar. Thank you so much for this. Much love. Make sure you follow Little Caesar on SoundCloud. They are 10 followers away from 540, and of course, make sure you follow Grapes Twitter. They are 2 followers away from 650. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single will be linked in the description of the YouTube. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't. We're approaching 240 Subaronies on the main channel. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast, exclusive segments, whole lot of good stuff available over there. So go show these artists in the channel some love. And if you already have, thank you. We appreciate you. But with that said, we're about halfway through our show, my friends. So with that said, we're gonna take a quick commercial break. And I need everybody to get up, go stretch your legs, go get a snack, go walk the dog, go take a smoke, go do whatever you need to do. And when we return, Music Mondays podcast episode 152, we'll resume with our community submissions. Don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, here in live podcast 51. Hope you're well, but back into community submissions, my friends. So with that said, we left off with the homie Lil Caesar, and up next we have the homie Bloodcat. Now, Bloodcat's had a interesting 2023 to say the least, but Bloodcat being a super talented alternative vocalist, submitted a track titled Billy Fawcett. Let's see what we got here, Jeff. I am absolutely down. Let's get into it. Bloodcat, Billy Fawcett.
Chatting out, I'm on my phone again, I know you didn't call. Start a fight with wild friends, gotta get involved. We got the closet before, we didn't get them all. The pocket by the soul, she wanna get them all. I keep the fireworks, but she don't wanna set them off. And it's like, don't worry, I can hear the talk, not to listen. Like I'm even gonna say something different. If you let me get away with it, I don't wanna even make decisions. You don't wanna see the way we live it. Everything will be okay in a minute. Everything will be okay for a minute. The money never seemed to make a difference. Rainy day, make them pay, make a play, break a leg. You don't wanna pay, I swear it's okay. I just wanna feel the way. Got a daddy out of Massachusetts. Cause I'm really talking, dripping out his black and bushy. The pushy pushy. You don't wanna pay, I swear it's okay. I just wanna feel the way. Got a daddy out of Massachusetts. Bitch, I'm really talking, dripping out his black and bushy. The pushy pushy. High top, you leave you a dry top. Really whip it off, really grip it side up. Really freaking boss, really freaking boss. Didn't need a bar. Pumping clear on Mars, baby, let me walk, baby, let the sauce talk, baby, we can small talk away to the double doors, make it drop, busy, haven't done before, no, she never loved before, she know I never loved before, oh man, oh yeah, put it on the grid, let it act up, oh man, to the blue pearls, take it to the plane, I know you never do this, I know you don't wanna pay, it's okay, I just wanna feel the way, you know. Got a daddy out of Massachusetts, bitch, I'm Billy Fox, dripping on his black and bushy, the pushes. I swear it's okay. Got a daddy out of Massachusetts, bitch, I'm Billy Fox, dripping on his black and bushy, the pushes.
Okay, BCat. Okay. Vision for sure. For sure. Okay, let's talk about it, man. Let's break this one down. We are gonna talk about three things. Talk about the instrumental, talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme of Billy Fawcett. So, let's talk instrumental. I mean, Bloodcat's instrumental choices have been fucking fantastic. When it comes down to the mix, excellent. Nothing clashing, too overbearing, nothing that's super like noticeably off at all. Drums are solid, mellow solid, structures there, sound selections there, level, vocals cut through nice, especially for like what the vocals are. Instrumental's fantastic. Instrumental shining star. I like the melody a lot. It sets that like chill tone for sure. But the drums for some reason like the drum selection and the drum pattern for some reason kind of stuck with me. So for that reason I'm definitely going to go ahead and say drums. I don't know why. Something about the drums and the drum pattern and the sound selection really got me. Definitely the drums, man. Definitely the drums. Hmm. So instrumental solid, definitely the drums. Um, let's talk vocals here. So vocal mix again with how Bloodcat is recording right now. There's only so much that they can do when it comes down to like their vocal mix, like actually getting like a clear mix, right? So for what these vocals are, again, super solid, man, super super fucking solid. It has that cool radio effect to it as well. So I think for what it is, it's like really up there. And for with that said, like nothing clashing, dual bearing, vocals sit nice, everything cuts through nicely. There's nothing like drowning it out, you know what I mean? So that's like the number one thing here with like these kinds of vocals and kinds of tracks, right? Nothing's really drowning one or the other out. So that's what's really about this, man. The vocal mix definitely super solid, especially for the difficulty it is mixing kind of thing. Um, vocal shining star. I think the hook is definitely up there. Bloodcat is still writing crazy ass hooks despite not having like the proper inspiration, but I think Bloodcat still is really writing like some insane hooks. But Flow and Cadence is definitely up there too, man. Flow and Cadence is definitely up like what really hits, to be honest. Writing too, but I feel like the hook is really something that's like very memorable here, very memorable, and like the fact that Bloodcat's writing like hooks this good is just it's really it's just insane. It's gonna be really crazy when they that's for sure. But for that reason, I'm definitely gonna go ahead and say the hook for sure. So instrumental solid, definitely drums. Vocal solid, definitely the hook. Let's talk theme. Billy Fawcett. So kind of an interesting fucking Hot Wheels cover here. Little bit of a nod, but I mean, simple approach, right? Super HD, super high quality. Nothing that's like major, right? I mean, this is a single track, so it's not like you gotta like dig super deep for art like this. So simple enough. Minimalist and definitely gets the job done. Overall theme. So overall theme of Billy Fawcett, I definitely don't think Bloodcat wrote this with an idea of like a super clear theme. I think the majority of the theme is in the hook and the verses kind of fill in the gaps. Bloodcat's always been that kind of artist where um if they really wanted to write like a theme or a song about certain topics or subjects, I definitely think they would, right? But also at the same time, they have the ability to really just let their lyricism and writing skill flow. This is definitely one of those tracks for sure. I think Bloodcat kind of took it upon himself to just kind of let the lyrics flow and let the hook and really just let the delivery and everything about it just kind of stick. You know what I mean? And just really keep the bearings wet, if you will. You know, so well done, my friend. Well done. With that said, huge shout out to Bloodcat. Thank you so much for this. Much love. Make sure you follow Bloodcat on Spotify, and of course, make sure you follow Bloodcat on Twitter. They are literally 4 followers away from 10. Make sure you go show Bloodcat some love with the bird at, man. God damn. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode, every single episode, will be linked in the description of the YouTube upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 240 subscribers on the main channel, my friends. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good stuff's available over there on the channel, man. So go show these artists and the channel some. If you already have, thank you. We appreciate you. So, we left off with the homie Bloodcat. Up next is the homie Ghost Candy, and they submitted a track titled Asimov's Law. Now, Ghost Candy, a very, very talented producer and vocalist, is really coming around for the end of 2023, if I do say so myself. They're really cranking up the heat, so you love to see that. Last single till the album. So it looks like we got a new Ghost Candy album in the works. So I'm definitely excited to see what we got here from the homie Ghost Candy. All right. Oh shit, and we got some vocals here. I am down. I am absolutely down. All right, let's get into it. Ghost Candy, Asimov's Law. Oh shit. Hmm. Damn, that was crazy. What the fuck? Okay. You never really know what you're gonna get from Ghost Candy, right? They are a producer, but they also are a vocalist, so it could be like a big 50-50 thing. There's never really a way to tell like whether Ghost Candy is gonna come through with some vocals or not, but this definitely surprised me, man. Definitely surprised me. So well done. Um, let's break this one down. We're gonna talk about three things here. Talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme of Asimov's Law. So, instrumental is fucking crazy, absolutely crazy, from structure to sound selection to mix to wow. But let's talk mix first. Nothing clashing, too overbearing, nothing that really like stuck out to me that was a bit off at all, especially with something so synth heavy and so like electronic heavy. I definitely think that there's room for error, but not on this track. The mix is definitely right where it needs. Everything's super level. Vocals sit nice. Everything cuts through nice. Nothing that like stuck out to me. So instrumental mix definitely solid. Instrumental shining star. Um, Man, there's so much that I like about this. Like the structure is really calling it though. Like I feel like the structure is fucking crazy, especially when you like consider the vocals and like how everything is structured around like each drop and just build up. It's got to be the structure. I feel wrong putting in the structure's amazing in this. Um, hmm. So definitely structure clears. Sound selection's right up there too. Definitely structure. So instrumental solid, definitely a structure. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix is great, especially being like a very electronic, digital kind of mix, right? Very heavily processed, very like alternative style. And I think Ghost Candy does a really good job kind of expressing that and really putting those vocals right where they want to be, right? Because if you're gonna do it, you might as well just go all out and get them right where you want them to be. And I think Ghost sounds really sick like this, and they did a really good job on this as far as these vocals. Well done. And again, nothing clashing, too overbearing. Drums are solid. Everything cuts through nicely. Vocals sit nicely. Nothing that like really like tweaked me out, you know. But vocal mix definitely solid. Vocal shining star though is kind of interesting because there's a lot I really like here. I like the flow and cadence and delivery a lot, but I think the thing that's gonna take the cake for me, songwriting itself. Like the songwriting itself is fucking crazy here. Like really crazy. It's like a story and an emotional song, all kind of wrapped in one in like less than like 4 minutes. So for that reason, I think I'm gonna have to go songwriting. Um, but flow and cadence and delivery are like right up there. Songwriting is really crazy here. Really crazy here. So instrumental solid, definitely the structure, vocal solid, definitely the songwriting and lyrics. Let's talk theme. So, aesthetics, Asimov's Law. Kind of an interesting logo refresh here from Ghost Candyman. But it does have that like cyber digital pop ambient kind of feel to it for sure. So I like the direction and I like the mysteriousness of it, and of course like this, especially for like single. So definitely hit the money as far as the aesthetics go. Overall theme. So overall theme is a bit more complex here. I definitely don't think that there's like there's like a hidden theme here that I think Ghost Candy would want like a certain audience to get. But as far as like the average listener or even like on the first listen, you could get a lot of feelings of like regret, a lot of feelings of like regretting loyalty, I guess, a lot of feelings of kind of like putting your energy in like the wrong places or kind of the wrong people or areas, or and just kind of questioning that as well, right? Questioning if you're right or wrong with that statement, or questioning even, you know, if that even happened, or you know, a lot of gaslighting, a lot of imposter syndrome, a lot of those kind of things. And I definitely think Ghost kind of blends the fantasy and the IRL like really well. So I definitely think that's something to like really be talked about here, especially with a track like this. And I definitely think it's one of those that kind of like piques that question, you know. So with that said, huge shout out to Ghost Candy. Thank you so much for the submission, friend. Much love. Make sure you follow Ghost Candy on SoundCloud. They're 9 followers away from 9. Go show them some love in the cloud, man. And of course, make sure you follow Ghost Candy on Twitter. 7 followers away from 50. Go show Ghost Candy some motherfucking love on Twitter. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube free upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 240 subscribers on the main channel, my friends. We upload 2 times a week, man. Every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, whole lot of good stuff's available on the main channel, my friends. Make sure you subscribe, man, and go show these artists some love. And get us to 240 on the channel, man. And if you already have, thank you. We appreciate you here, Music Mondays, my friends. Much love. But we left off with the homie Ghost Candy. Up next is the homie Bambi, Nuke Franklin. This is a first time submitting artist, actually. So we got a little email in the bio. We'll see what Nuke Franklin's all about, man. But we're going super blind. We don't know anything about Nuke Franklin, and they submitted love song number 3. So this will be a little bit of a surprise. So let's get into it. Nuke Franklin, first time submitting artist, love song number 3. Let's go.
I can't even say that. That's gonna get me canceled. All my niggas greedy, baby. We gon' leave food, won't get my visa to no greasy bitch. I wish I would just hold it down. Don't try to hold me down. I'm slinging wood. I plead the fifth from rags to riches now. Just like I should. Hey, all my niggas greedy, baby. We gon' leave food, won't get my visa to no greasy bitch. I wish I would just hold it down. Don't try to hold me down. I'm slinging wood. I plead the fifth from rags to riches now. Just like I should. Hey, easy come, easy go. Still in home base. Narrow road, pigeon toe. Run my own race. I'm offended. Wipe my lenses. I see Bentleys. 2-3 nymphos in it. Windows tinted, mind your business. Outside 12 keep spinning. Look and listen for that walk. Hey, fuck them shoes you kick, yo. Shit in is more about that walk. You had me, but ain't keep me. Bitch, ain't no secret, that's a loss. Okay, now hold on, baby. Wait, might flow through your television, defying the laws of physics. That's just one more wrong you picking. Oh, need some caution. That's way too slippery, might come too soon. I can feel it, like Braille in this bitch. We ghetto misfits, croquette and biscuits. Those 5-star dishes, boy, what you sipping? Dark as my pigment, daydreaming vivid. I might be tripping, my conscience lifted, or double dutching through truth and fiction. Lucy just sitting, high as my ceiling. Alone just drifting. All my niggas greedy, baby. We gon' leave food, won't get my visa to no greasy bitch. wish I would just hold it down, don't try to hold me down. I'm slanging wood, I plead the fifth from rags to riches now. Just like I should, hey. All my niggas greedy, baby. We gon' leave food, won't get my visa to no greasy bitch. I wish I would just hold it down, don't try to hold me down. I'm slanging wood, I plead the fifth from rags to riches now. Just like I should, hey, hey. Let me go, let me go. Let me go, 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 let me go. Sometimes it's better when it's not forever. I should know better than most, however I don't. Falling is better when it's done together, we won't. We rather let go than counting on someone in hopes that they cushion the blow. My ego, it won't allow you to have me alone with my heart on the flow. I've been up before. So do we give in or we stick to the shit that we know? Cause we can't do both. Our backs on the roads, we both just fighting for control. The feelings we hold, afraid to let go. Victims of the comfort zone and cycles before. Just suffer in silence like we both know we better alone.
Damn. Okay. That was nuts. That was really nuts. That was a very like what's the word? Mesmerizing track. Just because you wanted to like soak that in, right? I wanted to soak in all the writing and really kind of dissect that, but well done. Well done. Let's break this down. Let's talk about three things here. We talk about the instrumental, talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme of Love Song Number 3. So, let's talk instrumental. Instrumental is exactly kind of what I expected, right? I mean, with a track titled Love Song Number 3, you kind of expect that slow R&B, even like slow rap kind of vibe, and that's exactly what we got here. But with that said, the mix is great. Nothing clashing, too overbearing at all. Nothing that kind of like stuck out to me that was like super off-putting, to be honest with you. Drums are solid, sound selection solid, everything cuts through nicely. Nothing that really like kind of set me back, you know what I mean? I feel like it's definitely like a solid, well-leveled mix. No question. No question. Instrumental shining star. Probably the melody. The melody has this like nostalgic kind of like love feel that I feel like Nuke was really going for when it comes down to like this love R&B kind of feel. So definitely the melody for sure. Definitely the melody. Hmm. So let's talk vocals. Vocal mix. Vocal mix is great. I think Nuke has a really solid natural voice. So again, this is an artist that you don't really want to like go super processed with unless they wanted to. Really just kind of like let their natural voice shine, and I definitely think that Nuke has exactly that. No question. No question in my book. But yeah, vocal mix definitely solid. Nothing clashing, too overbearing. Nothing that really stuck out to me. Instrumental cuts through nicely. Everything's nice and level. Vocals kind of are like nice and separated from the instrumental, which is solid. Yeah, no gripes that I can really think of that really like stuck out to me. You know what I mean? Everything's right where it needs to be. Super level, super solid. Nothing that really like jumped out at all. So vocal solid, vocal shining star, or I'm sorry, vocal mix solid, vocal shining star. I like the flow and cadence and delivery. I'm not gonna lie, writing's a close second, but flow and cadence and delivery definitely kind of helps you get into the groove of this track and like really understand the mood. So definitely flow and cadence and delivery, but writing's a close second. So instrumental solid, definitely the melody. Vocal solid, definitely the flow, cadence, and delivery. Let's talk themes. So this is actually a track off of a 10-track project titled 95. And this is some insane art. Some really, really fucking absolutely project worthy. I like the mix of styles here, right? Because you have a little bit of like everything here. You have Parental Advisory logo down bottom, Duke Franklin top right or left. I mean, and the lungs and like almost like breathing and like symbolizing life a little bit here. So I think this is a really awesome concept for a full length project, especially for something called 95 because it's like 90 the number and then 5 the word. So I think that's sick as fuck too. There's a lot of like smaller things that I like about this. So there's a lot of thought that was put into this, and I like that a lot, especially for a project. But overall theme, love song number 3. I wouldn't say that they're like it's definitely a song about love, but I feel like Nuke Franklin kind of dives into a couple different subjects here in terms of love, right? Like betrayal, learning how to love, kind of moving on from love, do's and don'ts, and also like your occasional punchlines and bars and lyricism along the way. So I think this was a good mix, and a really good like variety of um lyrics when it comes down to like a love song, right? Like definitely not just like solely about love, but there's a lot of like love and love adjacent kind of topics here. So I think Nuke does a really good job showing off lyricism, but also staying on topic as well. Well done. Well done, my friend. Huge shout out to Nuke Franklin. Thank you so much for this. Make sure you follow them on Spotify, and of course, make sure you follow Nuke on Twitter. They're approaching 1.7 on the bird app, my friend. Here you go, show Nuke some love. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 240 subscribers on the main channel. I think we're about 8 or 9 away. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good stuff about the channel, man. So go show these artists and the channel some love. Let's get it, baby. And huge shout out to everybody that already has, my friends. Thank you. Up next is the homie TDG. TDG's had a really solid 2023. Everything from shows to releases to singles to instrumentals. TDG's definitely had a really, really solid year. But they submitted a track titled The Fall. It's actually another instrumental. I am definitely down. Now, TDG is also a super talented producer as well as vocalist. But this week they submitted a instrumental titled The Fall. All right. Let's get into it. I'm down. Let's see what we got. TDG, The Fall. Okay. Okay, that was very, very interesting. TDG is one of the masters of like genre blending and like kind of somewhat like abstract and experimental instrumentals for sure, but definitely like keeps it in order 100%. Let's break this one down, man. Obviously no vocals here, so we're going to talk about two things. Talk about the instrumental, talk about the overall theme of this track. So, let's talk instrumental, man. Kind of a solid standard mix from TDG. Again, nothing clashing, too overbearing. Drums are definitely right where they need to be. Nothing that really stuck out to me that was off. Sample solid. Drums kind of are doing their thing. They kind of knock. Yeah, everything's nice and level. Nothing that really like immediately stuck out to me, you know? So the instrumental mix definitely there for sure. Definitely solid. Instrumental shining star on the other hand. I like the drums, especially the drum switch up and the structure, but I feel like the reverse melody and melody in general are definitely taking the cake here for me. That's definitely a star of this instrumental for sure. Definitely a star, no question. No question, a star for so instrumental solid, definitely the melody. Let's talk theme. So, aesthetics. It definitely has that like cowboy old cartoon kind of feel to it, so I see why TD chose this. It definitely has that kind of feel. Almost like children's like a little bit like it has that like desert cowboy approach. So I definitely like this cover a lot. Simple, straight to the point, 100%. Overall theme, the fall. Definitely one of those that like you name in the moment, right? And you're kind of like, okay, like this is what this feels like to me, especially like as a producer. Like sometimes names for beats come instantly. Sometimes you really have to think about them. I felt like this is one that TD kind of had to think about. Was like, okay, where do I go with this? It definitely feels like a climactic kind of instrumental. So, solid theme, solid like execution when it comes down to release instrumentals lately. I love to see this out of TDG. So, well done, my friend. Well done. Of course, huge shout out to TDG for the submission. Make sure you follow TDG on SoundCloud. TDG is 8 followers away from 1K, man. So, TDG some love. And of course, make sure you follow TDG Twitter. They are 7 followers away from 60. Go show TDG love. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube free upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 240 stubbornies on main motherfucking channel, my friend. And of course, we upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes. A lot of good stuff's available. Go show these artists in the channel some love. Get it, baby. Up next we have the homie August, aka TTB God, and I believe this is a first time submitting artist. Okay, yeah. This is definitely an artist that I believe we put on SoundCloud Sunday. I definitely think they've made 1 or 2 SoundCloud Sundays, but I definitely don't think we've reacted to them here on the show. Gone After August. Yeah, I believe this is a first, for sure. But we got some lyrics in the description. I am definitely down. Let's get into it. Gone After August. Add tattoos. Oh.
Bitch got a caboose. I ain't hearing what you saying, cause you never tell the truth. Girl, you know my body hollow, I got nothing left to lose. Yeah, it ain't safe here, you should be cautious. I've been following the money, I've been stalking. She told me she hate me, my mouth started frothing. Fucked up in the head, I'm in love with the nonsense. Fucked up in the head, I can't recall what you said. Fucked up in the morning when I wake up in her bed. I'm a bad tattoo, I'm something for you to regret. Make sure I'm the one you don't ever forget. Rising from the dead, baby girl, this ain't Thriller. Me and her too, like shadow Baby, pass me the bottle. It ain't safe here, you should be cautious. I've been following the money, I've been stalking. She told me she hate me, my mouth started frothing. Fucked up in the head, I'm in love with the nonsense. Fucked up in the head, I can't recall what you said. Fucked up in the morning when I wake up in her bed. I'm a bad tattoo, I'm something for you to regret. I'ma make sure I'm the one you don't ever forget.
Damn! Fire ass outro too. I definitely like that outro a lot. What a first time submission, man. That was fucking crazy. Okay. Wow. Shit. Well, fuck me. Let's break this down, man. We're gonna talk about three things here. Talk about the instrumental, talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme of Bad Tattoo. So, instrumental. Let's talk instrumental mix. The mix is fucking great. This is like a really solid definition of like all pop, all plug, kind of like a little mix of everything, right? And the mix is just really telling, really telling. Drums are solid. The melody's really solid. Drums knock. Everything's nice and level. Nothing really stuck out to me that was like overbearing or anything. Kind of like tweaked me out, you know. Mix was definitely right where it needs to be. Nice and loud, but not too loud. And it definitely complemented the vocals for sure. But it wasn't like overbearing, right? So instrumental mix definitely solid. Instrumental Shining Star. I like this melody a lot. I like this fast paced melody for sure. Drums are right next to it though, but kind of the melody was really like something that made you pay attention, right? And made you pay attention in songwriting, and the drums were a good good company for sure. But the melody and the fast paced energy here was really doing it for me for sure. So definitely melody, 100%. So instrumental solid, definitely the melody. Let's talk vocals. Vocals are great. I think Gone After August has like a really solid natural voice, so they really let that shine when it comes down to like these more interesting kind of instrumentals, right? Because they're a bit of a blend of a couple different styles. I think, you know, people always felt like they had to do for processed vocal type when it comes to like a mix, but I think On After August like still proves that it's possible to like have somewhat like natural regular vocals and still really go super hard on instrumentals like this. So I always love to see this. The mix is fantastic, nothing clashing too overbearing. Drums cut through nicely, vocals sit nicely, everything's level. Nothing I would change on this vocal mix either. I like the natural approach to this a lot for sure. Vocal Shining Star, man. So I really like the hook. I think the writing overall is super solid, and flowing cadence is really what like wrapped it up in a nice bow for me. I think the hook might be the thing that like makes a first time listener like return, but I think flowing cadence is really impressive here. I like songwriting in general though. Like, so hard to pick just one. Probably songwriting. If I'm being honest with you, probably songwriting. Just because it was very interesting to like have a story here, and like very interesting to see where August was coming from here. So definitely songwriting, but hook and flowing cadence are a super close second. Super. So instrumental solid, definitely the melody, vocal solid, definitely writing. Let's talk themes. So, a couple of bars about Sonic and Shadow and whatnot. So obviously no brainer cover here, super simple. I like the approach. Not really too much to like dive into there, and I like the kind of simple, safe approach with it, right? Especially if you don't like feel like going too crazy on art, or if this is like really the vision, then that's fine. You know what I mean? I like the choice. Overall theme is very interesting, right? Because Bad Tattoo is kind of a tie between, you know, really like admitting that you're not in a good place and like being self-conscious about that, right? So like, I think it's one thing to like be a fucked up person and be like, no, I'm fine, bro, I'm fine. or you're like going through it, you're going through dark times, you're going through shit in life, and you recognize that, and you recognize that you're being outwardly shitty. I think that's like better than like kind of hiding it in. And I'm getting a little bit of that from August, and really being honest about it, whether it is like in life in general or in personal relationship. Um, just really like being hyper focused on yourself. You know what I mean? Which I don't think is a bad thing either. So I think this is a very honest song at the end of the day, and I think Gone After August definitely did a good job, kind of expressing how they feel and like what their perception is of like other people around them, and like maybe like what other people's perception is, or really like where they're at right now. You know what I mean? So I think the songwriting here was really really crazy. And 6 days ago, yeah. So this is like super super. So I think Gone After August did a really good job, kind of laying this all on the table, no doubt. So with that said, huge shout out to Gone After August. Thank you so much for the submission. Much much love. Make sure you follow them on SoundCloud, by the way. They are 9 followers away from 340, and of course, make sure you follow them on Twitter. They are 7 followers away from 230. Go show them some love, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 240 subscribers on the main channel. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a lot of good stuff available here on the channel. And of course, huge shout out to everybody that already has subscribed to the Music Mondays channel, my friends. Thank you, thank you. So let's continue. One of our last submissions of the night, the homie Patterns. Now, again, this is an artist who had a really stellar 2023. Everything from consistent singles, music videos, so much other content from Pattern Man. Like, they really, really killed it. So, they submitted a track titled 3 AM this week, and it's actually a collab. So, let's see what we got here from the homie Patterns, eh? Let's see. Let's pop it open a new tab, give it a quick little pause. Give it a little wham blam. Okay, let's do it. Lil Wet Wet, aka Patterns, 3 AM with Willow X.
Queen. I'm so concerned because you lied to me. I've heard before because I tried to be. The money you see, every single side of it. I tired of ignoring all the pain because it styled me. I'm starting to be myself and only me like I'm an island. It's hard to trust and I'm so stuck in my environment. Days the long before that I've forgotten because I traumatized. I just choose silence. Me, it's not silence. You turn to move and I be blushing like a child again. You know me, heroes and I was safe inside and they just kiss. I was crazy of your body color, yeah, I'm childish. I saw so many things when I was young and I was scared. I ain't just in my stomach when you catch me unaware. It isn't fair. Your hands all on my chest, my fingers running through your hair. Dissipating in the smoke, dissipating in the air. You're having in my trust and you keep asking me to share. It's hard to guess and trust and I'm still stuck in my environment. There's a long affair that I've forgotten because I traumatized. Just the train started, I'm with you, it's not silent. I'm serious in my life and now you blush me like a trafficker.
Damn. Okay. Okay. Now this is some shit right here. This is fucking crazy. I like this collab a lot too. This is definitely a solid duo. All right. All right. So, let's break this one down, my friends. Let's talk about three things here. We're talking about the instrumental, talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme of 3 a.m. So, let's talk instrumental. So, Homecoming Queen is definitely somebody that we've seen Patterns work with multiple times. We're very familiar with their work. So, this is an easy one, right? Of course, mix is fantastic. Nothing clashing, too overbearing. Vocals sit very, very nicely. Drums cut through nicely. Everything's nice and low. Definitely no gripes that I kind of felt throughout the track as far as the instrumental goes. Homecoming Queen is definitely a prod that you can count on that have like a really solid mix when it comes to their instrumentals. So no shocker, but you always want to point it out, right? So instrumental mix very solid. Instrumental shining star. Drums are definitely up there. I don't know, man. I was gonna say melody, but I might say drums. Drums are really crazy. Structure's up there too. I really like the drums, man. I definitely think drums are kind of capping it off here. Melody is definitely memorable, but the drums are it's given that grit for some reason. That dark anti pop kind of grit. So I like the drums a lot. Definitely like it. So drums definitely a shining star. Melody close second. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix fantastic, especially for both Willow and Patterns. I think vocal mix is definitely right where it needs to be, especially for these two, right? They definitely have like a really good hold on where they like their sound, like where they like their vocals to sit and what they like their vocals to sound like. So I definitely think these are two artists that have a really, really good idea on like where their vocals are at. So when it comes to a track like this, super solid, super solid. Nothing clashing too overbearing. Vocals definitely sit nice. Vocals definitely cut through everything. Drums cut through nice and even. Nothing that really like stuck out to me as like a gripe, much like the instrument. Again, Lil Wet Wet is an artist that always has a really solid mix, especially when it comes down to vocals. So not really a shock. Vocal shining star here. I was gonna say flow and cadence, but the songwriting here is really crazy. The songwriting is really, especially when you read along with the lyrics and you're like, so the songwriting here is really like up to par, man. Like really, really up to par. Like classic Lil Wet Wet kind of style of writing. Like reminds me of some of the first tracks that we heard from Wet Wet. So it definitely takes me back. Definitely has that like first track kind of feel. Definitely writing. So instrumental solid. Definitely the drums, vocal solid. Definitely the writing. Let's talk theme. Definitely a little bit more of like an abstract IRL cover here, but nonetheless still an IRL cover. So I definitely think this one is like right up there with like the rest of the IRL covers, except this one's a little bit more abstract, a little bit more like experimental, right? So I definitely like this one a lot, and it has that kind of cover where if you like this track and it resonates with you, you're gonna remember it. So definitely a solid choice of aesthetics nonetheless. Overall theme. Now 3 a.m. Now I had a couple of thoughts about this throughout the whole track, right? Like 3 a.m. could be as simple as when you wrote the song, or 3 a.m. could be as simple as like when a situation happened and you wrote the song, or etc. 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 Right? So 3 a.m. could be like a subliminal for so many other things. So it's kind of hard to like pinpoint one thing here, but this is definitely one of those tracks you write in like the spur of the moment because you're feeling really down or you're in like a shitty mood and you're kind of like wanting to get a bunch of feelings out, but you don't feel like ranting or you don't feel like going to somebody, you don't feel like talking to somebody. Like go find a crazy ass instrumental and write your heart away. And I definitely feel like that is sort of the direction that we went with this track, and then it, became like a full-fledged single. So I definitely think Patterns really got a lot off their chest here when it comes down to songwriting. Well, these are just really honest and like in the moment kind of lyrics, and really just really pulling from all sides, right? Could be present moments, past moments, how you're feeling now, how you used to feel. So many things are really a part of this track. So I think Patterns did a really good job bringing it all together. With that said, huge shout out to a Lil Wet Wet. Make sure you go follow them on SoundCloud. They are 3 followers away from 650. And of course, make sure you follow a Lil Wet Wet on Twitter. They are 6 followers away from 440. Go show them some love of the bird. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the music. We're approaching 240 subscribers on the mix. 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episode. Underground tips and tricks, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good stuff's available over there, man. So go show these artists in the channel some motherfucking love. And if you already have, thank you. We appreciate you, my friends. So, up next, in our last submission of the night, a first-time submitting artist, STD Notorious. Streams, memes, and downbeat depresso beats. What a bio. Necronomicon. That's one hell of a word right there. That is one hell of a word right there. But yeah, first time submitting artist, Noto. So let's see what we got here, man. Obviously, we're gonna go in blind. We don't know what to expect. Let's see what we got here. August 19th. So this is what? It's about like 3 or 4 months old. So definitely not brand new, but definitely not super, super old. So let's get into it. NSTD Necronomicon. Okay. Damn. Definitely not what I was expecting at all, man. I guess you never really know sometimes with first time submitting artists, but um, well done, well done. Let's talk about it, man. 'Cause it's definitely more of like an interesting kind of dance, almost kind of like electronic, kind of like all track here for sure. So a couple things to talk about here. A couple things to talk. So we're gonna talk about two things here. Obviously, no vocals. So we're gonna talk about the instrumental, and we're talking about the overall theme of Necronomicon. So let's talk instrumental. Mix is actually really solid for what this track is, right? I definitely think there's a lot going on here. A lot of different sounds, a lot of different drops, a lot of different everything. And the mix is definitely need super tight for everything, and it was. This is a really awesome mix for a track like this. Definitely everything that you'd want out of a track like this. Nothing that's like protruding or like overbearing. Drums kind of cut through nicely and do their own thing. All the melodies are super solid. Things nice and level. Nothing really stuck out to me as like being off-putting at all. So the mix is like really fantastic. 100%. So the mix is solid. Instrumental shining star. Definitely the structure. There's a lot of things that I think could be like a bit, you know, shorter, but all in all, I definitely think structure is really white. It's right where it needs to be in terms of an instrumental track like this, because this is almost like telling a story here. This is very much like building and building and building. So this isn't exactly like a traditional instrumental track. This is definitely more of like a lengthy kind of almost like OST style of it. So with that said, I think the structure was solid enough to where it didn't feel repetitive. Didn't feel like it was like doing too much. I definitely don't think that it was um like repetitive. I think the repetitive like really aspect of this is what's like very important here. And all in all, it was solid. All in all, it was definitely solid. So structure is definitely a shining star for sure. Um so let's talk theme here. Necronomicon. Now the fucking like the word threw me off at first 100%. Like the word absolutely threw me off, but then I was like, wait a minute, like what's going on here? So you take a look at the cover, it doesn't give like a super clear indication of what's about to come, and then you listen to the track, you reference back to the cover, and and it all kind of like makes sense, right? It has this like electronic dark, almost like goth like club atmosphere, or almost like festival kind of feel to it as well. I definitely think that that's like a very like real aspect here. So I feel like they did a good job narrowing down this theme, and with that said, the cover is just as solid too, right? It definitely has that dark goth feel to it, but somewhat of like a electronic kind of uh some kind of like grittiness. You know what I mean? There's some kind of grittiness to it, so it definitely has its own kind of energy for sure. Like it's gonna be a cover you remember along with a track title, 100%. So aesthetics on point. Overall theme, like I mentioned, kind of has that like festival club kind of feel to it. So Necronomicon kind of is like a subliminal for that, especially for this artist. So I definitely feel like they did a good job like narrowing down like what this song feels like to them, as well as like what it could feel to like other, for sure. So this was quite the instrumental, and well done. Huge shout out to NSTD. Make sure you go follow them on Spotify, and of course make sure you follow STD Notorious on Twitter. They're approaching 180 followers on the Bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the music channel if you haven't already. We are approaching 240 subscribers. Times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a lot of good stuff's available on the channel, my friends. And of course, huge shout out to everybody that already has. Let's get it, baby. And that does it for episode 152 submissions of the Music Mondays podcast, my friends. Let's get it. All right, what's good? I hope you're well. Welcome on in. Happy Monday. Glad you can make the tail end of the show, my friend. Let's get it. So with that said, huge shout out to everybody that submitted, came through, and showed love tonight. You guys are amazing. Huge shout out to it once again, literally everybody that submitted. We're gonna talk about the Music Mondays Awards one more time. We're gonna talk about what's coming up for the Music Mondays podcast. We're gonna talk about 2024. We're gonna say some goodbyes. We're gonna shout some people out. We're gonna do the usual. So you guys know the drill. Let's get into it. So, like I said, and with that said, huge shout out to Blaine, Pooh, Mag 2 Times, Sin, Zeph, Braden, Lil Caesar, Bloodcat, Ghost Candy, Bambi, TDG, Gone After August, Lil Wet Wet, and Notorious. Thank you guys so much for your submissions tonight and tuning in and coming through and supporting episode 152 of the Music Mondays podcast. You're amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Let's get it, baby. So, with that said, before we close it out, let's talk a little bit about the Music Mondays podcast. Let's talk about what's coming up on the show in 2024 and all that wonderful stuff. So, with that said, this is going to be the last regular episode of the Music Mondays podcast in 2023. We have one more episode because literally Christmas is next Monday. So obviously we're not going to have an episode on this Christmas, but we are for sure going to do the Music Mondays Awards before next year, obviously. So the Music Mondays Award show will be live Friday, December 29th. You will see an announcement go live this Thursday, December 21st. So make sure you keep your eyes peeled for that. Make sure you follow us on socials for all the Music Mondays Awards updates. You're probably going to have a friend or two nominated, so make sure you get your votes in. But votes, nominations, all that good stuff live this Thursday, December 21st, and we'll be live with the Music Mondays Awards on December 29th. You can expect written content, YouTube content, all that good stuff to stay the same. We're pretty much continuing all of our content right into 2024. Hopefully adding a couple more staff members and really just eyeing up some loose ends like I pretty much said at the start of the show, man. We have a couple of things to do before the end of the year, but the main focus is the Music Mondays Awards. So get ready. Voting this Thursday. Award show December 29th. And with that said, make sure you guys have a good motherfucking holiday, man, because I won't see you guys on a regular show until 2024, which is kind of crazy. But we'll be live one more time, and I'll be live with the Music Mondays staff as well to present the Music Mondays Awards. So that'll be really, really awesome. I'm definitely motherfucking excited. That's a fact. But with that said, man, make sure you follow Music Mondays on all social media. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, Facebook, Threads, YouTube, TikTok. You follow the Twitch channel. You guys know the drill, man. All the socials are linked down below. But obviously you won't see a show on Monday because that'll be a holiday. So we'll be live December 29th again with the Music Mondays Awards. And shows will continue right into 2024, man. So with that said, huge shout out to everybody that celebrates. I hope you guys enjoy the holidays with your friends, family. Go spend it with somebody nice. Go spend New Year's with somebody nice. Go celebrate. Go take some time off. Go enjoy the last couple of weeks of 2023, man. And huge shout out to everybody in the Music Mondays community that really made 2023 special. I don't want to go too crazy because we still have an award show to get through. So I'll talk about the end of the year at the award show. But with that said, man, huge shout out to everybody that came through and showed love to episode 152, man. You guys are amazing. We'll see you for the Music Mondays Award Show, episode 153, next Friday. And, of course, Monday's Christmas. So enjoy the time with your friends and family and all that good stuff. And, of course, in 2024, our very first Monday, I believe, is January 1st. So let's hop right back into it, man. January motherfucking 1st. Let's go, baby. So of course submissions will be open tomorrow if you're interested in getting a track here on the show, so make sure you follow us on socials again. And of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, submissions are already open, so go find the most recent submission tweet and drop your links below. And of course, make sure you stream the Music Mondays podcast everywhere. Anchor.fm/allmusicmondays. We're available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts, we are there. And of course, make sure you follow me at ZomSlays. Pretty much on all platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. Make sure you follow the Twitch channel, follow, subscribe below, everything linked below, all the socials, all the good stuff, link down below. We're 2 subs off the sub goal. We're 1 follower off 600 followers, man. Follow the channel if you haven't already. Let's fucking get it. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I love you guys. It's been your boy Zom Slays. We'll see you for the Music Mondays Awards in about a week, man. Let's fucking go. I love you guys. Be safe. Enjoy the holidays.